right, so today what we are doing is we are going over the percent proportion. So once we get the setup down, you guys should know how to solve this, but setup will change frequently. Essential question. How can you use the percent proportion to solve real world problems? And your vocab is just percent proportion. Okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is the percent proportion? Write that down. What is the percent proportion? Does any part of that sound familiar to you? Percent sounds familiar? Should. I mean, we talked about percent, but is that all? And proportion. Haven't we solved proportions already? Yeah, we have. I've had you guys solving on those. So, basically, all of this stuff is we're combining lessons. So, what a percent proportion is, at least the first part, is one ratio compares the part to the whole. Hey, Angel, that is not the board. Okay? So, we're going to compare the part to the whole. What that means is we have part over whole. This is, for example, how I grade your stuff. I'm sitting here grading. I'm going to put the denominator is how many points total. How many points you can get. The numerator is how many points you did get. So that's part out of the whole. Okay? The second ratio compares a percent to 100. And they are set equal to each other. Why do you think it's percent over 100? Perfect. Every percent is out of 100. No matter what percent you were given, it's always going to be out of 100. Even if you've done extra credit and you have 120%, it's out of 100. Okay? There's something else I want you guys to add on here. We're going to put is over of. Those words will help you with figuring out the part to the whole. All right? So let's get started on these problems. Example. Our first example is going to be what percent of $15 is $9? And we are going to be very, very colorful today, and I want you guys to have 3 different colored highlighters. So please go get some 3 different colored highlighters. So between you and whoever you're sitting with, you guys have 3 different colors? All right, and Alejandro, do you guys have 3 different colors? Okay. You guys have 3? All right, so here's what we're going to do. First thing I want to see you guys do. Very first thing, very simple. Give me 2 fraction bars with an equal sign. that very difficult? No, you guys can do that, right? Second part of this is finish setting it up. You're gonna write is of a percent sign and a big 100. Again, is that very difficult? Think you guys can do that on every single problem that says percent proportion? Yeah, you can do that part, right? Is that fairly easy?
Yeah.
All that part is setting up. Now we have to fill it in. So here's where the colors come in. Pick one highlighter. I don't care which color, just pick one. I want you to highlight this is.
So we're gonna do like cross wording.
Yep. I'm glad you're looking around the room to see those posters. Okay, highlight is. Now look in the actual problem. What percent of $15 is $9? Do you see that word is? Let's grab that word is. Is that is talking about $15 or $9? It's actually talking about the $9. It says is $9. That will tell you what goes in this spot. $9. Put that highlighter up or away or out of reach or whatever you want. Grab a different highlighter. Of. Do you see the word of? Of goes with the number 15. That tells us that we are going to put 15. Grab that final color. And you have percent. It says what percent. Because it's asking what percent, that means we don't know it. So what goes in a spot where we don't know the number?
1?
If you don't know it, you're going to make it 1.
No.
So if I don't know how old you are, I'm going to say you're 1 year old.
No.
What goes in there if we don't know what number?
Question mark?
An X. An X, that variable, put that X. We don't know what it is, so instead of a question mark, put the variable. Now, if I cover up these labels and I cover up this, does this look familiar? At this point, we're going to do what Angel already looked at a poster and said, we solve using what? Cross product. So we are going to multiply what is 15 times X? 15X. What is 9 times 100? What goes in the middle of these? Equals. Keep that equal sign here. How do we solve this equation?
The river?
Draw your river. Then what?
Divide.
Why divide? Why divide by 15? It's the opposite of what? Multiplication. Your variable's on the left. The operation you see is multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is to divide. So we are going to divide by that 15. What you do on the left? You do to the right. What's 15 divided by 15? 15 divided by 15 is 16.
Oh.
1.
It's 1. So you're left with 1. X equals, what is 900 divided by 15?
It's like 5,000 something.
We're missing something though.
The X. No.
Not X,
The percent.
the percent. If it came out of this spot right here, you would have to be down that table, 60%. So 60% of $15 is 9. Okay. Any questions on that? Right. Turn to your student page. I'm going to give you a problem. I want you to at least set it up before we go to lunch. What's the first thing I want to see? Come on, let me give you a chance to write that down.
Oh.
Put it there. Write it down.
Wait, what?
Write it down. Write it down. Write it down.
Not the answer.
What do I want you guys to set up? What do you think the answer is?
Never mind.
What is the first thing I want to see? What's the setup gonna look like? What is the first thing I ask you guys
No,
right now?
the lines again, the vehicle.
The lines of the equals. That's the first thing I want to see. What goes on these lines? What does is go? What is top called? Numerator. What does of go? So what comes to the other side? Percent and what's the answer?
8.
Not 8.
8%.
Not 8.
It's not?
Not 8. Alright, where does the numbers go? What's the is? Is 20. What's the of? Huh?
25.
25. So what's the percent? YX. If we don't know what it is, we put your X. We will solve that as soon as we get back. So,
Like 80%. I saw it in 80%. I knew it.